So hi, I'm Jo from Mooney & Co Estate Agents, and today answering all things in finance and how to buy houses and how to move is Margaret.
Margaret from Finance Path.
So Margaret, one of the most common things that I hear from people that are looking to trade up, so upsizing from their starter home to the next one, we want to keep it as an investment property and move into our, so they want to start their property empire. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Property breeds wealth.
Yeah.
But what's the realities of holding on to the first property to upsize into the next? Pros, cons, realities.
Yeah, it's not as simple as it sounds, and I often think that clients needed to have that conversation before they bought the first property, because there's things that they need to put in place to make sure that that property is a good investment. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say, for example, someone buys a house as a first home buyer and they're concentrating on paying down that loan. They're making extra repayments. They smash down the loan, right? You know, the house is worth, I don't know, $700,000 and they owe $250,000 on it now. Awesome. They've made a big dent in that. Now they can go and they can upgrade. Like, oh, we want to convert our existing property to an investment. Well, now they've only got a $250,000 debt, right? Only, you know,
in relation to
in relation to the value of that property. If they wanted to convert that to an investment property, they can't borrow up to the maximum and convert that to an investment loan. The tax department doesn't like that, because the cash they're getting out of that property, they're going to put towards an owner-occupied property. And it's all around the purpose of the funds, right? So that's not going to be ideal for them to only have a $250,000 investment debt. And from a tax perspective, we want to have more debt on our investment property than we do on our owner-occupied property, because we can't claim the debt on the owner-occupied property, but we can on the investment. So if a client came to me in that situation, I would say your property is probably not the best property to convert to for those reasons. But I'll often have conversations with clients when they're buying a property and they say things to me, oh, we think that it could potentially be a good investment property later on down the track. Well, I will say to them, well, don't pay extra off your loan. Put all of your savings into an offset account. So it's an account that sits next to your own loan.
Still get the benefits of it. But
so the interest is calculated the same. But if you're pulling the money out of your offset, you're not pulling it out of the loan, so it's okay with the tax department.
And we've got to be okay with the tax department.
Yes, we have to be okay. We don't want to get in trouble with the tax department. So, but it also depends on how long they hold that property too, right? So if it's a short-term plan, they're going to buy it and hold it for 2 years, then they're not probably going to make a big dent in the principal. But if they have that property for 10 years, that property's probably doubled in value, and then the loan on that in comparison to the value is not great. So they're almost better to sell their existing property and get the cash out to go and buy the owner-occupied and then buy another investment and fully load that one up.
Yeah, and also depreciation comes into it as well. When I'm talking to them, I look at it from two prongs. Like, obviously I can't give them and I don't give them the financial side of it, but I ask them the question of, if holding on to their existing home and keeping it as an investment property holds them back from buying the dream family home, so getting those extra upgrades, getting all the things that they've worked so hard to get the equity that they've got and all the things that they've done, if holding that existing property reduces their borrowing capacity to buy what they actually want to buy and what they're moving for, to reassess that and just ask themselves what's actually more important.
Yeah.
And the emotional attachment.
I was just about to say that our jobs are often crossover to counsellor, right?
So
So I find that there's an emotional connection to the property.
Especially the first one.
The first one,
Yeah.
blood, sweat and tears went
Yeah.
into buying that
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Or, in some cases, like for me, my first home was, I was really young and, it was a big investment. It was really sad to sort of like see that property go. But I think we have to sort of ask those extra questions and dig a bit deeper.
Yeah.
Why is it important? And are you making this decision with your head or with your heart? And have you got financial advice?
Yeah.
Is this, or tax advice?
Yeah.
Is this going to be the best option for you?
It's like when people say to me that they want to buy an investment and then I go, okay, that's awesome. What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just want an investment property.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
And so just asking that next level is like, are you chasing capital growth? Are you chasing yield?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that tells me that
I want the rent to cover my mortgage.
So,
okay, so have you had a chat with your accountant
Yeah.
about what that looks like?
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the thing, it's all about being quite holistic about what they're wanting to achieve and why. And it's kind of funny, not funny, haha, but it's kind of strange that quite often they're shocked that an agent is asking that.
Yeah, because they're so used to agents just wanting the sale, right?
Yeah,
they're not really caring about what their goals are.
But if we're trying to match people up we're matchmakers. So to match people up with the right property, I remember years ago when I first started and I was working down, there was one family that came down and I was working along the Bass Coast. So we had a lot of holiday homes and those sort of things. And I used to continually get young families coming down saying, we want to buy a holiday house / investment. I'm like, you can have one or the other. Which one's most important to you? Because they are not the same thing. Capital growth in Coronet Bay pre-2020 wasn't really there.
No.
So they were going to come and make memories or they were going to buy an investment. The two were not compatible, if that meant, and they were like, oh,
yeah,
but it's almost like, again, a lot of buyers don't understand. They get a little bit cagey and they're like, that's none of your business. And no, it's not my business, but it's my duty as a human being to at least ask the questions that get them thinking about. They don't have to tell me, but get them thinking about that and potentially should they be speaking to other people, like an accountant, like a broker, like this, like that, to make sure that they're actually doing what they think they're doing by purchasing what they think they're going to purchase. And sometimes they'll end up flipping completely and buying something totally different. Which is funny, which is fine.
But that's the whole point of having the conversations,
exactly.
right? And asking the questions. Because sometimes people don't really know what they want. They think they know what they want, but when you start digging and asking the right questions, they go, oh, I just thought a holiday house was the same as an investment property. I hadn't really thought
I have another house, so why would that not be an investment? Well, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. Depends what you want it to do.
It's the same with, like, I'll get first-time investors come to me and go, for our first one, we just want to buy something cheap. And I say,
we'd love to buy a money pit.
So I say, okay, so you could buy an investment property out in Maui for the same price as what you could have 10 years ago. So do you really want to buy a cheap investment property? Investment properties, generally, we want them to grow.
And define cheap, though, because if it's going to, and again, it depends why they're buying it. So if they haven't spoken to their accountant about what the entire picture looks like of what their outgoings would be, should they buy property A, B, or C, then they're flying blind, in my opinion.
Yeah, they need
my experience.
They definitely need to get the advice from everybody and talk and go into with their eyes wide open and know exactly what they're getting. And often the return or the outlay for a cheap investment property is not much different to something that's $200,000 or $300,000 more, because the rent's more over here.
Yep.
So, you know, it's not necessarily the right decision to buy something that is cheap. And people's motivations or their reasons for buying investment properties are different.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
I've had a couple that wanted to buy an investment property for each one of their kids, so their kids would have something to move into. So that particular house has to be a particular type of house in a particular type of area, right?
Where they would be happy for their child to future live.
Yeah, that's right. And then there are other people going, no, I want to buy multiple investment properties so that I can build up my passive income, so I can retire on the passive income. Their properties are going to look very different to those other ones. So it does depend on the reasons why they're doing it, not because I just want to buy an investment property. No, there's more under that.
There's more under it, but people just know that the headlines say,
I should buy an investment property.
I should have an investment property.
Yeah.
Should you?
Yeah.
Should you?
And look, some people shouldn't.
Correct.
You know, there's other ways that they could be investing their money, but that's not for us to talk about because we want them to buy property, right?
Exactly. Buy it, sell it, do everything. Do all of the things.
Yes. But we also have to make sure that, you know, we're being responsible and, you know, responsible lending and make sure that the client's fully informed and making the right decisions for them.
Yeah, from a broker perspective, yes, you have responsible lending and all those sort of things. As an agent, I firmly believe, and I say this when people are buying homes and things, and my creed is, and I make it quite clear to them, I 100% work for my sellers, but I operate a very strict duty of care. I will not do a buyer harm because you don't need to, for one, and you shouldn't for the other.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where when I do ask those extra questions, it's like, oh, what do you mean? I go, just tell me a bit more.
And you know what? That buyer's going to be a seller one day.
Yeah.
You know, so and the buyer talks to other buyers and other sellers.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just the right thing to do.
Yep.
You know, isn't it? You know, to
100%.
look after the clients and give them the best that we can possibly do. And you know, you and I both do a lot of work for nothing. You know,
We do.
We offer a lot of advice and years of wisdom and sometimes we talk clients out of doing something because it's not the right thing for them to do, you know, but that's because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly, but it's about leading them to their right decision, whether we think it's the right thing for them to do or not isn't actually relevant, provided we have given them the right information and that they are making a fully informed decision no matter what that decision is.
Yeah.
Because it's their decision at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Past client of mine, I've sold for them multiple times. They rang me the other day. They're looking to buy call it a bush retreat.
Okay.
For want of a better word.
Okay. I want one of those.
Is it a good investment? Oh, hell no.
But is it good for your mental health? Yes.
That's great.
Absolutely.
So they've sent me a Section 32 the other day. They've found 60 acres in the middle of they don't even know where.
Sounds like bliss.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Is it going to have capital growth?
Probably
Good
not.
God, no.
Yeah.
Are they going to have the best time taking their kids up there, running wild and having memories?
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
Exactly. They're just going to live life.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I gave them all the information. They then made a choice.
Yeah.
And I went, you guys are going to have the best time there.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect block for you.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Have a blast.
Yeah. And that doesn't that warm your heart? Like, you know.
And then it's like, swing up there myself.
Yeah. I can't be careful.